Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for your host of Comedy Snacks, JR and Nina Wilder.
Hi, it's
Hi,
so
everybody.
good to move.
I'm not running around my microphone.
It's fine.
Fuck that. You're always making me feel less. Which is good for a guy who always looks more.
We're gonna start things off by talking about our relationship.
She makes me run around the car 3 times before she lets me in.
It warms up the vocals. Oh my God, it's so exciting to see people here. Give yourself a round of applause for making it out of your house.
Can you
Well
hear them
done.
at home? Hear them? That's other people. Other people.
Oh yeah, right. Applause for those of you still at home. Still at home. No shame. No shame. We're happy.
You can clap too. You can clap too. This is fun. This is fun. I'm excited. It's been an eventful week. Things are happening fast. Super fast.
You think so?
Oh God.
Phase 3, full speed ahead.
The only thing that's not happening fast is a shirt I ordered 2 months ago. Holy shit! I'm never ordering from a non-Amazon site again. Like this thing, and then it started giving me updates, and then it stopped. It's like your item is now in your country. No more tracking. Will be delivered eventually.
Close enough.
That's what it says. Like, it's ridiculous. And I've sent an email with the order number, the size of this shirt, the design, everything, and they just have an automated reply. If you haven't included more information, we can't get back to you. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And it's tough. As a big guy, you don't find many shirts in good sizes at stores and stuff. You know, you have to order these things and look for them in other countries. They're stitched together by 3 people. It's probably what's happening. They probably had to unstitch the shirt to make it, to deliver it. It's cheaper. It weighs less. It's on 2 different trucks, I heard. I don't know.
I'm sick of ordering online. I feel like you have to pay extra, right? You have to pay for, like, shipping and handling is expensive, you know? Like, I feel like telling them, like, stop touching my boxes, and so I can just pay the shipping, you know? Like, oh, God. Yeah,
I haven't tried charging for people touching my box.
It's already that kind of show.
Welcome to Comedy Snacks.
Yeah, man.
That's how that goes.
I love that we named the show after food. I'm such a big food fan.
It's the only reason she asked me to do it.
It's not true. I'm the person that
kidding.
goes to restaurants and I like eat off everyone's plate. People keep telling me like, this is not your table. Whatever.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You're like that person. It's like, you sure you don't want anything? No, I'm fine. And then you just eat all their fries.
Pretty much. Karen, get the fries. Get the fries, Karen.
Awesome.
Yeah. How's your week been otherwise? Or
Besides that, yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm doing a lot more shows. I started doing DDP yoga. Do you know what DDP
What?
yoga is? Anybody know what DDP yoga is?
it's like kink yoga?
It was all by accident. DDP, I found out he's a wrestler. He's a wrestler, right? Diamond Dallas Page, and he does the yoga for these people.
What did he promise you?
Well, the problem is I didn't mean to type in DDP. I was only meant for one D, so it's only supposed to be. I was Googling DP, like I usually do. But to my surprise, after Volume 1, all I saw was an old wrestler, and he hadn't double penetrated anything yet. So
Oh my.
I've been disappointed by that. Maybe Volume 2. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll see how
Wow.
that's been my week. Anything else new going on for you?
Actually, well, I mean, this probably doesn't really resonate now because I'm happy to see people, but I've actually been really, really depressed this week. I've had a family member who's on her way out in my world. And depression sucks. Depression sucks. It affects us all. And I know it sounds stupid, like coming from me, because I feel like all my older family members or friends, they look at me and they're like, oh, "You're so young. You got your whole life ahead of you." And I'm like, "Okay, I know, but like, just stop saying that because I'm trying to stay positive." Yeah, I don't know. It's every time. You ever notice that you have friends that like they just can't hold your space. They always have to like give advice. Like I have this friend. Every time I'm sad, every time she's like, "The universe has your back," and I'm like. Every time I'm like, it feels like it's molesting my front. I don't know.
It's handling your box and not paying for it.
I feel like I'm done with the advice. I just need to be sad, you know? Everyone's just like, Change your perspective. If that doesn't work, change your prescription.
You're so right though. Like
Right?
sometimes we need to sit in it. Like
Yeah.
instead of take an oxy or take this, feel better immediately. It's
like-
sometimes we as a society we need to sit in our depression
I
for a
think
minute.
so.
Sit
Like,
in sadness.
Instead of thinking of what
Get
you're
through
grateful
it,
for.
and then you'll come out on top. You'll come out on the other side better.
Anyways, that was my week. But I feel like that's why I'm here with comedy. I'm just going to watch these guys make me laugh.
There you
So
go.
It's just going to be much better.
We have a jam-packed show that will definitely make you feel better. Want to get to it?
I really do.
Let's do
I
it.
really do.
All right, so I'm going to bring up our first comic. I haven't seen her in a long time. Obviously.
They've all been on hiatus, guys.
She gave out like a what? Like, I've seen you know. It's been a long time. She's been gone. Anyway, she's back. Let's give it up for Juno Mac.
Fuck, I'm short. Holy shit. Yeah, I was laughing when you were talking about the Googling, because I actually took a screenshot of, I don't know why, but like, you know, when your phone just says like, hey, why don't you try saying this? But my phone actually said to me yesterday, try saying show Cleopatra on Wikipedia. I wasn't fucking talking, so I'm not too sure. I screenshot that shit because I was like, nah, I don't know. Did I start smoking crack again? But no. Hi everybody, wherever the fuck you are, and hi everybody here. It's nice to be around people. Well, some of you, but you know, Brian's here. That was an in-house joke. So yeah, I was stuck up north for what, 3.5 months. I went up March 17th to say hi to my parents, and I got back on Sunday. So I was in Williams Lake. I don't know if anybody knows. Fuck, thank you. I was really nervous if somebody was like, yeah, and I was gonna have to take you out back and socially distance fuck your ass up, but whatever. I don't have to. So good. Yes, I was stuck in Williams Lake. You know what I'm talking about here. So now I still keep talking, like, I've only been back for 4 days, so I still have that twang in me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there going like, yeah, it's fucking Giver, eh? You know? And I keep talking about canoes and shit, and I've never even been in one, so I don't know why. And and I'm just like, and people down here like, that's great, ride the bus. I'm like, no, fucking canoe, eh? Let's just fucking give her. And it sounds so cool when you're saying like, hey, let's just fucking give her if you're, you know, like dirt biking off a cliff down through a waterfall. It sounds cool, right? But when your mom's like, do you want toast? And you're like, yeah, fucking give her, eh? It doesn't have the same sort of I mean, I don't know, the pandemic kind of got that one boring, so but yeah, I actually like my parents. Can we clap for that? Because that doesn't happen often. I didn't before, but that's, I think, kind of just how life goes. That's because they were, like, trying, you know, they care for you and shit, and it's in the way of a lot of things. But, yeah, so, so yeah, I was staying with them, and I actually liked them, but it did start feeling kind of like I was living in a care home after a while. I mean, my dad literally kept on saying, like, yelling out loud, I don't get paid enough to clean up your shit. And I'm like, fuck, sorry. So, I actually have something written down. This is crazy for me. Oh, did I tell you I'm mentally ill? I don't know if it's obvious. I'm bipolar, so that means that anything I do is going to go one of two ways. And I love that joke. Or not. You all right over there? Do you want me to take a break? No? You're good? Okay. Another thing about me is I used to collect rocks and like really analyze their chemical composition. I mean, in layman's terms, that means I'm a crackhead. No, I got sober. I did, which is crazy. You can clap for that because that's what I need for this next joke. Thanks. But when I did get sober, I noticed some really messed up thing about you, like non-crack heroin doing people. Like, you fucked up. Holy. Like, you eat. It's probably because you have teeth. Yeah. Actually, my nephew and I. Well, my one nephew is 2 years, and I've been doing this joke for a little while, so it doesn't count. And he's like, just fuck whatever. We used to have a race to see who was going to get our own teeth first. So now I don't love him anymore because he got his. But now I have a nephew that's like 2 weeks old or something, so I'm pretty sure I can beat him. But I'm not going to talk to the older one for like 20 years. It's fine though. Actually, the whole teeth thing got so bad that I ended up having to steal my neighbor's dentures. It's not as harsh as it sounds. I mean, he just died. So. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Let that one sink in. I mean, like, to be honest, I had to work really hard to get those things. I mean, who the fuck buries a guy with his dentures? Wipe those things off before you fucking throw them in. COVID, at least I'm safety. I'm safety. Wow. You know what? Been up in Williams Lake for so long, I don't know how to talk to people. It wouldn't matter if just Williams Lake makes you stupid. Hi, people. I wonder if I'll be allowed back up. But anyway, so like the pandemic, like being mentally ill and also in recovery, I live in BC housing and I'm also on disability. So like that can only mean one thing. I'm fucking single. So bad, guys. Like, I mean, I don't really care, but this fucking cunt. All the time. Like, expensive batteries are. Anyways, yeah. So, but the pandemic, it kind of like evens this whole like messed up situation. Because I would never want to date somebody like me, because I know how much problems I have. So, like, you have to be straight up fucking normal and have your shit together. And now that we're in a pandemic, nobody's normal, and it's fucking great. You know what I mean? It totally levels the playing field for me, because I'm like, oh, really? What do you do for work? And before, if I got that question asked to me, I'm like, I used to be a chemical consultant, and fucking hope to hell they don't ask anything after that. It's just like, yeah, okay. But now, I mean, if they say, what do you do for work? I'm like, I'm at home. And it's not weird, right? It's kind of nice. And by the way, and non-mentally ill or recovering people like are not handling this pandemic well. I gotta tell you, you guys don't know how the fuck to handle chaos. I do. Okay, I know how to handle chaos. Like, actually, this has nothing to do with anything, but when I was a kid, I used to think that chaos was pronounced chahos. I just felt like throwing that in there. I just admitted that. I felt like throwing it in there, but yeah. So you guys don't handle pandemics or really anything well, because I mean, you're sober and I don't fucking get that part, but and it's weird because like like I sobered up at the wrong time, man. Now it's like liquor stores are opening early, right? Everybody wants to fucking drink on the beach or in the park, right? I mean, you can wear a mask and like, Jesus Christ. And when I did it, it was like, okay, so I was in a bank when I wore the mask, but whatever. And I'm gonna go, because I got a dog at home that's gonna cry. I left CNN, this is from my parents, I left CNN on at home for my parents' dog so that she would feel at home. I'm outing them. Okay, thanks guys.
Give it up for Juno Mac! Fantastic. So obviously we have a theme going on this evening about mental health. So this is what we're all in for. I feel like after this, they should really the system's gonna be like overwhelmed, like it's gonna be like, Belle, let's talk later, okay? Okay, so coming up next, we've got the lovely Luke Parm, everybody.
All right, Comedy Snacks. Good to see you guys. It's nice. It's like being in a dark room, everyone's wearing a mask and peering in. I feel like I'm in a theater full of doctors who can't quite figure out what's fucking wrong with me. But the fact they're all laughing means I have no chance of making it through because they're not going to figure it out. Yeah, my mental health's, well, I guess we'll find out. I thought it was, you know what I mean? Like, I know what Juno meant. Like, yeah, I've had chaos. I've been unemployed because of my own decisions for 4 months at a time with no assistance before. So this, I was like, oh, welcome to my world, fuckers. And the government is cutting me a check. I feel like I won the lottery. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the jackpot, but I got like 2 numbers out of 7 right, which for $2,000 a month, I think that's a decent prize. So what have I done with myself? I started reading the Bible a lot because I had time. And I can't say that I ever have before. And then I was like, wait a minute, my name's Luke. I have my own chapter. I deserve this. And, you know, I mean, the future's here. It's 2020, and it's not what it used to be. We can all agree on that. But I do think it's important that we take a minute and admit there's not a single fucking chance Jesus was a white guy. There's just not. Even if you don't believe in him, you don't believe he was a white guy. Like, that's the part. Can we, like, 2,000 years ago, there's a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes speaking English, walking around the Middle East, telling everyone how to get along. They've got politicians who look like that doing that today, and it's still not working out. I was like, this is like a futuristic episode of CNN. It's just, come on, if he was a white guy, he wouldn't have been wearing a toga. He would have been wearing a Hawaiian shirt 2 sizes too big, Croc sandals, constantly complaining about how the food's too spicy, and sucking on an asthma inhaler while dying of thirst. And then I read further into the Bible, because there's some, like, stories that, all right, there's, you know, some complications, good guys, bad guys, death, plague. I looked at the evidence. I actually think Jesus was a woman. Think about it. The evidence is there. 1, turned water into wine instead of whiskey. 2, for her last supper, she threw a dinner party for 12 of her closest friends, even though she knew one of them was going to stab her in the back. Spoiler alert, it was Judy. 3, gave out compassion and free health care to the lepers and the blind and the poor. If anything, that proves Jesus was definitely a socialist and maybe even Canadian. So her name was probably Jesus Christina. And they just cut off the end because fuck the patriarchy. Hey, what else do you think is meant by the term rise of the divine feminine? Okay? Jesus Christina. And then it made me realize that we should probably talk about God and some of the problematic behavior we've been covering up on his part. For example, how does he make a commandment that people can't have sex before marriage after he got Joseph's wife pregnant? She was already married to Joseph. That's some toxic masculinity right there. He took her virginity while she slept. No one else has a problem with that, okay? I reread that part like, wait a minute. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. He committed all 3 in one night. And then I was like, what about poor Joseph? Nobody's heard his side of the story. Could you imagine how awkward the conversation was with Joseph and St. Peter at the gates? Because Joseph stuck around and raised that kid like it was his own. And then he dies and goes to heaven, and St. Peter's there like, oh, hey, Joseph, good to see ya. You've got your name on the list? Yeah. Good news, we have room for you here in heaven. Bad news is the landlord's the guy that shagged your wife. But here's how we'll compromise. If you get on your knees and beg, he'll forgive you. No, he forgives you, Joseph. After you give him 10% of your income. I know. That's just how it works. And then I was like, what was Joseph supposed to do? Convert to Buddhism? Buddhists believe in reincarnation. That means Buddha would come back and get Mary pregnant again and again and again. Making her own rules, yeah. So I know people are like, holy shit, you're offensive, you're going to die and go to hell. Well, that was predetermined. It was going to happen anyway. But everyone refers to God as the all-powerful creator of the universe. And I was like, yeah, maybe. He's also the single biggest cock blocker of all time. That was one of the dirtiest moves. And I know most of you are like, this is so offensive. Some of you at home. It's really not that offensive when you think about it. Offensive would be building mega churches instead of mega shelters and making mega millions while millions have lost their jobs and have no way of putting food on the table. That would be offensive. That would be offensive. So that was pretty much as far as I got into the Bible because I had to put it down. As you can tell, I was like, the more I read into this, the quicker I'm going to hell. And as I can tell, I know how JR will be there for me. Thank you, JR. Juno, love to see you there. We'll probably write some stuff together. It'll be great. You can bring the dog. We'll give her. We won't have anything else to do. So, of course, there wasn't much on TV, so I watched politics. And then I was like, well, at least I don't live in America because I would have blown my brains out. But I'll leave you this. I wrote this joke for any of the Americans or for anyone who's watched too much politics. Two politicians are sitting on a bench discussing current events, as politicians often do, when along comes a dog and sits down on the grass in front of them, as dogs do, and bends over between his legs and starts licking his balls. And that's when the politician on the left turns to the politician on the right and says, wow, he's really flexible. And the politician on the right turns to the politician on the left and says, yeah, I know. I wish I could do that. And the first politician says, why? He'd probably just bite you in the face. Now, I can't tell. All right, that's my time. Thank you.
I'll use this microphone because Luke left his mic condom, and I refuse to take off another man's condom. Thank you, Luke. It's not a Magnum either. All right. So we got mental health and religion. It's going to be a good night. Hope you guys are excited. You're right. It is a dark room with a bunch of people in masks. I feel like I'm on the set of Vanilla Sky over here. Just without all the good stuff at the end. You have that list? I think you took the list. Yeah, Nina took the list. She's trying to... Oh, it's this guy next. You guys are going to be excited for this guy. Is a good buddy of mine. Again, I'm starting to see all my old buddies and comedians, and I'm glad to have them back out doing comedy. And you guys are really going to enjoy them. Please give it up for Arash.
Thank you, Reverend Luke. Feel enlightened. Can you guys hear me? Oh man, yeah, you guys get to witness everybody coming back into comedy, coming back into life, ending all these comedy dry spells, where poor performance, you have the same excuses as a normal dry spell. Just like, I promise, I swear I do better than this usually. I don't know if you guys have seen just masks on the street. Yeah, and you just think to yourself, is this like the modern version of used condoms on the street? Just the more that you see, you're like, okay, this is not a good neighborhood. Gotta go somewhere else. All right, clearly no one's been as traumatized as me. I don't know if you guys saw the news today. Owner of Matchstick Coffee kind of stepped down. Did you guys see this? Hear about this? For those of you not familiar, Matchstick Coffee, local hipster coffee shop in town. The owner stepped down. The owner stepped down because for years, apparently, the employees have been coming up and saying that he's been very verbally abusive, unfair work hours, low pay. Essentially got canceled, this guy. He got canceled, and I was kind of shocked, you know? And all the people that get canceled, you get Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, a small hipster coffee shop in Vancouver. Just not what I would have expected. But it was, you know, it sucks. For those workers, apparently they've been going through it for years, just really poor conditions, low pay, they've been kind of getting like grinded to their gears, working harder and faster. And somehow a cup of coffee still took 14 minutes to make at these places. That's fucking crazy. Oh man, I see some of you guys probably have some cool tattoos. I'm taking a look. Don't even myself, but I'm sure you guys get a lot of questions about your tattoos. Like, oh my God, what's the story behind that tattoo of Joseph Stalin? Just, who's the artist? You know, what's their Instagram? I don't know. I look at tattoos. I think different questions. You know, I see someone who's like inked from the neck down, and I'm just like, how many months of rent is that? I told that joke to a colleague of mine, and he's like, dude, you sound like my mom. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Mom's a very responsible one, I'm sure. A lot of themes of mental health, holy shit. Yeah, everyone's been asking me, like, what have you been doing during quarantine? You know, like, do you have a good sourdough recipe, or playing Nintendo Switch? Like, yeah, I'm lucky. I've actually been working, and I have my day job, but part-time I work at a crisis center and suicide hotline. And you know, like, as we've seen, people are struggling with mental health. We all are. But a lot of people are trying to find ways, you know, to get better, to cope. I think it's pretty positive. You know, I remember I was talking to this one guy, and you know, he was feeling pretty down, feeling pretty low, and he's like, you know, I think I'm gonna get better. And his idea of that, of feeling better, was that he was gonna go try stand-up comedy. So I asked him, like, oh, okay, like, do you know where you're gonna go? Have you done it before? And he's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I have a bit of experience. Yeah, let me like tell you a little of what to expect at an open mic. And then I immediately just hung up the phone. Juno mentioned this. It's weird being single right now, dating. A lot of people are reading online, I'm sure that's still going on. But yeah, it'd be nice to actually meet someone from work, like where I work at the crisis center. I think it'd be nice. I don't know, I just think there's something really special, you know, about two people being in a room, on calls, listening to people talk about how they're depressed and suicidal. It just makes you want to fall in love and have a family. No, but the work in mental health, it's been good. It's been rewarding. It's making me think of like you know, actually considering like going back to school and maybe studying to become a therapist. And yeah, so I've been thinking about it. I actually talked to an academic advisor. I wanted to kind of learn more, see like what I should do, get some advice. And I actually learned a lot. I learned that you know, you don't need to get a master's degree as a prerequisite to admitting yourself to the psych ward. Have you guys heard of the term like BIPOC? Does that term come up? Yeah, some of you nodding. Last year, I didn't even know what the term like POC meant. I saw that come up a lot. It's like, you know, my day job, I work in software sales. You know, POC is like proof of concept. If you want to get a trial to buy something, like that's what I thought it was. So I was like, okay. But then I learned like POC stands for like persons of color, which is I guess why people were referring to me as that. Made sense. Yeah. And now BIPOC is Black, Indigenous, and persons of color. And you know, I'm really glad. I'm glad I learned what the POC part of that BIPOC meant last year, because I'd just be really confused if I thought people were referring to me as a bisexual proof of concept. That's yeah. Okay. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on with race. Yeah. No, it's tough times, but like I wish racism would kind of revert back to what it was just a couple of years ago. You know, hear me out. Some of you are like, what the fuck? Thought we're trying to move forward. Yeah. No, because we're here, Havana Theatre. Havana's a nice restaurant, and I just want to be able to walk in to a nice restaurant, greet the host or hostess, and not be mistaken for a skip the dishes driver. Is that too much to fucking ask? Like, no, I'm fucking eating here in the restaurant. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Comedy Snacks. Appreciate your time. Walking home.
Fantastic. And thank you again as the essential service worker for this time period. That was probably one of the best things around about quarantine, right? We had every 7 o'clock we were clapping for the nurses and essential service workers. That was like really heartwarming. Although I was kind of curious, like liquor stores apparently were also an essential service during this time. It's kind of odd. Like I guess we'll bang bottles for them or something. But then I found out, a friend of mine told me, it's like, yeah, sex toy stores are still open. And I'm like, they're an essential service too. Okay, we'll bang something for them. Anyways, that's your cue. Please, I'm very excited to introduce the next comic. I haven't seen her perform, but I'm super stoked. Please welcome Tanya D.
Thank you so much, Nina. All right. Well, yesterday I had to go pick up my cat's ashes. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Not really my most uplifting of intros I've ever done, but I'm pretty sure you all knew this was going to get to cats sooner than later, right? You know? Yeah, no. And, I really take offense to that term, crazy cat lady. Yeah? Do you? Anybody here? No? I prefer dissociative identity disorder cat lady, actually. Where are my cat lovers at? Give me a little clap. Yeah? Okay, well, we've established who the single people are, so thank you. Oh, man. But, us cat ladies, we grieve hard. Like, really hard, Because losing a pet's hard. It's super painful. And, but grieving's good. And I say, go for it. Cry till you puke. Go ahead, make that personalized shadow box of, Mitzi's favorite, toy and photo and nail clippings. Go ahead. Even some ladies, they'll, collect the last remnants of the cat hair that people had, right? And then they send it off to some Etsy artist, right? And they get it cast in resin, right? So that because this woman specializes in memory lockets, all right? Even though they fucking curse the fuck it's everywhere hair every day the cat was alive, but now you purposely choose to wear it around your neck every day, right? So you and Muffin can be together forever. Best $200 I ever spent, And really, I say even get the tattoo. Go for it. Just don't get the full back portrait tattoo of you holding your cat. Like I did. Okay, because that's just a super expensive and batshit crazy move. Or use it for your Tinder profile pic. I don't recommend that either. So, and I know I said that you guys, the single people were the cat people, but that's not true. I have cats, cat, right? And I'm married for the third time. So who's to say? But speaking of batshit, so a while back, I was told that I resemble a hot Roseanne. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, some lady in the front row one time when I used that joke, she was like, oh, yeah, I can see it. And I'm like, fuck you! Okay? It might be the recent bra fitting I had that revealed that I'm actually a triple D. Or perhaps it's the Resting Bitch Face support group I started on Instagram. You can follow me at fuck you, I am smiling. And, or maybe my sister just needs to shut her pie hole, right? I've always had a big mouth and apparently bigger tits than I realized. So, and I'm just a truth teller. It's kind of like being a fortune teller, except instead of seeing your future, I see your bullshit. Like, I'm definitely not the person that you want to ask, do these jeans make me look fat? I'm like, no, but you might want to brush your teeth again. So, and my mouth did get me into trouble when I was a kid. I once told a nun I wanted to be a stripper when I grew up. And I don't know what she was more appalled by, either that or asking to borrow her outfit. So, yeah. Most little girls from Saskatchewan, believe it or not, they want to become nurses or teachers or barrel racers. Not me. Little 7-year-old me. I wanted to shake my moneymaker. Woo! I was kind of a precocious child, which is just AKA for really fucking annoying. And I think that's why my sister hates me so much, because, come on, you guys, let's face it. I'm pretty much the only one who actually had a chance of becoming a stripper, okay? I might be hot Roseanne, but she's just Roseanne, okay? And did you guys know that Saskatchewan's known as the land of the living skies, but also the highest concentration of Tony home perms per acre? And people from Saskatchewan just love their perms, man. And bingo. And that, including my parents. And they like lots of other games too, like rummy and crib and mindfuck. Ding, 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 they weren't happily married, And my mom just couldn't hide how unhappy she was, or the rye bottles, for that matter. Yeah, and she and her friends should receive full credit for inventing day drinking, Yeah. So, my mom hates that joke, really hates it, because she thinks that now everyone's gonna think she's an alcoholic, but I have to keep telling her pretty much no one hears or sees me do stand-up, so it doesn't matter. Anyone else ever been embarrassed by their parents? Give me a little clap if you have been. Yeah? Yeah, well, my dad used to wear a toupee, but only on special occasions. Weddings, fall suppers, track and field day. And he was super jovial too, all like, how do you do, and such. And, oh, man. And, I always wondered where he got it, and I thought it was the Sears catalog, but it turns out him and 2 other friends actually went to Vegas to each get one. Yeah, not to go gamble or see a prize fight or even do Quaaludes with Wayne Newton. No, to buy a toupee, okay? Because apparently it was way cheaper, and you didn't have to declare that shit through customs on the way home, right? So he saved a pile of dough. My mom hated that fucking toupee. And Wayne Newton. And every time they get in a fight about it, my mom's best friend would march over with her super frugal single mom 1.5 liter bottle of baby duck and they would drown their sorrows along with my head in perm solution. Yeah, so I eventually had to ask him, like, Dad, like, fuck, why only on special occasions? Everyone knew you were bald. And he's like, nope, I was only bald during the week. The weekend, I had hair. I'm like, okay. And then he wants to give me advice about doing stand-up. And he's like, whatever you do, don't laugh while you're telling him. Keep a straight face, Tanny. I'm like, okay, well, he's 82 and obviously not familiar with my Instagram page. So thank you so much. I'm Tanya D.
We got some lingering laughter. Give it up once again for Tanya D. That was hilarious. She obviously has a much different perspective of the women from Saskatchewan than I've had, because all women from Saskatchewan I've met have turned out to be strippers. I'm just kidding. If you're offended by that joke at home, please send your complaints to fuck you, I am smiling. Awesome. That was great. Thank you. We're going to keep this moving along. I have just a couple comics left. This next one, coming up to the stage. I can't remember if I've seen him perform. Quarantine's been a long time. I can't remember. But anyway, please give it up for Mike Bodds, everybody.
Hello. How are we? Okay, I'll two of you. That's awesome. Very nice. Everyone's talking about tattoos. Anybody here have a tattoo? All right. Jay, you got a tattoo? Jay probably has like recipes tattooed on his body. Fucking like 1 cup of milk, fucking 2 eggs. That's good. I want to get a tattoo. I don't have any. My sister's a tattoo artist, but I don't want to just get one to get one. I just feel like they're really trendy nowadays, and people just, get them to look cool, and which is fine. But I just hate people when they try to like get a tattoo and they like force a meaning on it. Like, oh, this muffin on my arm in remembrance of my mom because she baked good muffins and like died of like a yeast infection. Like, it's okay to just like muffins and have no meaning, I was talking to this one girl, she was all tatted up, and she said, well, you could just come up with a meaning or change the meaning of a tattoo afterwards. I said, you can't do that. What? I can't get like a swastika on my face and be like, oh, I'm really into windmills all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Just fond of silly shapes I am. Okay. No swastika jokes, I got it. Let's talk about cats. That's cool. I was on a walk with a friend the other day, and her neighborhood was like infested with like these missing cat flyers, and she thought that was sad, but I didn't say anything because trying to fuck or whatever. I don't know. When I see like a missing pet flyer, I don't see sorrow. I see liberation. That's an animal. It deserves to be free. I didn't see a missing cat. I saw a cat that found itself and doesn't need these fucking people to live its life, okay? Also, I'm not a cat person, I'm sorry. I think if you live with a cat, you basically like live with like a crackhead. They just kind of walk in and be like, you got milk? No? I'll be back. And then, That's fine. Was anybody working this whole time? Right on. I try to capitalize on the whole app, like delivery app, so I started my own. This is like a side hustle. Mine's a little different though. Instead of like delivering food from like your favorite bar or restaurant, we deliver home cooked meals from like your mom, so you don't have to see her. It's called Skip the Bitches. It's just a startup. Moving real slow. We'll see. I'm lonely. Thank you so much. You're lonely when like every time you text like your drug dealer, you ask, what are we? Am I just like the others to you? I started hanging out at like banks just in hopes of like a fucking robbery, Get a hint of that Stockholm syndrome. Robert comes in, you're mine now, and be like, I'll follow you to the end of the earth. And I'm like, what? Stockholm syndrome's also like a good indicator if you ain't shit as like a lover or like a parent. I feel. It's like, we finally found you. It's like, no, I'm good with these people. It's fine. This crew's fine. I had a fortune cookie tell me I was lonely once. A fortune cookie I got from a bar, that's when you know it's traditional, legit, you know. And it said, you're never alone if you're friends with your demons. Which is dark. It's really fucking dark. But it made me think, you know. I think you know you're lonely, like, every time you look at, like, a schizophrenic, you think to yourself, like, man, why can't I have that, you know? Moving on. I feel like I peaked. I want to just go back to the good old days, maybe like 10. 10 was good. 10 was a good year. I grew up with a car bed. Anybody else? Oh no, we all grew up with fucking regular bed frames. Okay, I got you. Fuck you people. To this day, that is still like the closest thing I have to like owning my own vehicle. And jerking off in that bed is like the closest I'll ever get to like roadhead, so it's like whatever, you know? It is what it is. God, I hate working out too. This is all shake weight, you guys can't even tell. I try it. I started doing calisthenics at least, because I just work out, you know what I mean? I work out just to look somewhat appeasable for women, you know? Started doing calisthenics, that way I could just kind of build calluses on my hands, because therefore my hands feel like they're ribbed for my pleasure at least, you know? Just feels like I'm jerking off with like a shiatsu neck massager. It's awesome. Try it out. Calisthenics. Yeah, it's fun. If we had one more person, that'd be enough for a fight club, but we don't. It's cool. I'm trying to dress more Slavic, if you can tell. I'm European. I used to be European, sorry. I used to be European. I used to live in Poland, believe it or not, and I was like real European, you know. I used to be like so European. When I would eat ass, I would kiss both cheeks. You know what I mean? I go like, you know what I mean? And get out of here! At 18, I was, I used to live there when I was in my teens. And at 18, you get drafted to the Army. And that's a fun time. Just a bunch of naked 18-year-olds in like a gymnasium. Really awkward. Went to go see the doctor. No like, hi, hello, how are you? He just instantly grabbed my balls. And then he let go. And then he asked me to cough. I was like, that's not how you do it. There's no way that's how you fucking do it. What is that? It just says janitor on your shirt. What are you doing here? Get out of here, you know? How are we doing though? Besides all this, man, a lot of mental health. There was like a scene. You guys like started with like a scene from like Inside Out. It was fucking beautiful. That's cool. I don't masturbate for the pleasure anymore. Not me. I do it for like the element of surprise. You know what I mean? Just to see what comes out at this point. You know, it's like just bone marrow. Just flushing it out, you know. My balls are like the balloon house from that movie Up, just throwing shit out the window to gain altitude, you know what I mean? Like, what is that, a chicken bone? Get it out of here, you know? Got a blowjob once, and I chipped a girl's tooth with a kidney stone. She was mad. Never saw her again. It is, I mean, not my fault, you know. I still get hard for no reason. And that shit's cute when you're 12, but when you're 27, that shit's dangerous, you know? Sometimes when I'm walking home, life just becomes like a game of like choose your own adventure, where the objective is just not to go to jail, you know? Be walking, I'm like, oh shit, okay. What do you got here? We got a playground and a dog park. I'm gonna go dog park on this one, you know what I mean? Just to stay safe, you know? I'll finish it off with this one. You guys like impressions? I'm not great at them, but I'll try this one out. So sometimes people say I look like Marlon Brando, which is very nice. And then some people say I look like Jay Leno, which is fuck you if that's what you think, okay? Fuck Jay Leno. We've all seen The Godfather, though, yeah? Great film. Okay, so this is Marlon Brando in The Godfather. Did you imagine that? Like, that's how professional I had to be, where I'm just like, give me a... Okay, sorry. So this is Marlon Brando. Okay. Thanks for coming to my part. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm not seeing the movie just yet. I don't know. His daughter's game there. I don't fucking know. You guys are great. I'm Mike Buzz. Have a good night, guys.
Mike Botts, everybody! I feel like you should be on every mental health show. I mean, like, it fits you. All right. Cool. I feel you on the whole dating thing. Dating is actually it's now even weirder, if it could possibly have gotten weirder. During the course of quarantine, I got a message on Instagram. Apparently that's the new Tinder, I don't know. But it's random stranger messages me, and he was like, hey, like, you look like really nice from your profile. Like, do you want to go out sometime? And I was polite, and I was just like, oh, thank you. Like, no thank you, but thanks for the compliment. And he's just like, well, aren't you single? I'm like, is that your closing line? Like, like, am I? Oh, right. I'll go get dressed. So weird. Okay, we got one more act left, so please give a warm round of applause for Peter Grant.
23 years of practice. You're welcome. No, normally I'll have to stick the foreskin in first before I put the condom on, but you know, I'm sorry, ladies, you guys are gonna hate me. I saw you guys laughing at the cat stuff. You're not gonna like me at all, but we'll get it over and done with. Here's the thing, guys. Quarantine's done everyone through a loop, I reckon. I reckon it's hit everyone. It's hit people differently. For me, I now look like I say the N-word. I shaved my head, and that's the end of that story. I gotta be careful how I hold my head, though, because if I go too far back, I just look like Patrick from SpongeBob. Starfishing out. Look like Patrick, but I feel like Squidward. Fucking mental health. Dude, mental health? Fuck me, I had them all. I got tested for every single thing you can think of in school. Like when I was a kid, I got tested for bipolar, ADD, ADHD, all these acronyms that I had no idea what they meant, but I got tested for them all. I got tested for autism the most. Never passed though. I never got like the autism green card or whatever they wanted to give me. But I got tested for it so many times. Like my mom never even knew I was getting tested as well. School just did it without telling her. So like I'd go into school and I'd come home and I'd be like, oh, Mom, I had another test today. And she'd be like, oh, did you pass? And I'd be like, no, I didn't. She was thinking that I was having a learning disability, whereas in actual fact, I was trying to not be autistic. And here's the thing, I had 17 autism tests. 17, can you believe it, Brian? I think Brian's the only bloke in this room that's had more autism tests than me. Now, for me, I had 17 and I never passed, and I knew the two blokes testing me so fucking well. I knew them by name, Bob and Dave. And if you didn't think I was Australian, there you go. So Bob and Dave would come in every 3 months. They'd come in and they'd say, g'day Peter, come onto this room with me. And I'd be like, all right, let's go Bob, let's go Dave. I was at a Catholic school, they weren't priests, so we're fine. I go, all right Bob, all right Dave, let's go. So I go in this room and I'd sit down, and on the 17th test, I sat down, I looked, and at the top of the sheet said, words and numbers. That's what I was getting tested on, words and numbers. And I said, sorry, Bob, the space between words and numbers needs to be bigger. Bob looked at Dave and he's like, did this motherfucker just say and 5 times in the same sentence and it made sense? Are you telling me this motherfucker ain't autistic? And then Dave would look at Bob and be like, this motherfucker's Rain Man. But I'm not autistic. I eat paste, which was the giveaway. Like I was that kid in school that like would eat paste out of the container. So that's why they thought I was autistic. And, you know, I'm not autistic, but I still do it, man. I'm a fun guy, so I'll chow down on a sati. Jesus, man. I went on an absolute tangent with that one that I wasn't planning on. Saskatchewan? Then we had Williams Lake. Anyone else out of town? Like, I'm from Australia, so I'm as far out of town as you can get. Anyone else from out of town? No, he's all from Vancouver. You're from out of town. Where are you from? Jesus. The only thing I know about Kazakhstan is the movie Borat, and I think that's a fantastic documentary. Jesus Christ, Kazakhstan. Do you guys go to the Olympics? That's not a good enough answer. We've been there. Yeah, once or twice. We won a bronze in like fucking skydiving or something. Kazakhstan. That place is actually massive. Anyway, back off that shit. Australia. I'm from Australia, if you can't tell. I was hoping that we had more Canadians. Saskatchewan. Been to Winnipeg. Fucking hate Winnipeg. Yeah, Winnipeg shithouse. Anyone else been to Winnipeg? Yeah, you guys are all nodding around. Yeah, everyone been to Winnipeg? It's a fucking shithole. Like, it all started off real bad because me and my missus, we went out there for Christmas and we flew on a discount airline. You guys heard of Swoop? Yeah, Swoop Airlines. Swoop Airlines. It's the worst airline in the world. It's just an anagram for whoops. Like S-W-O-O-P. The same letters as W-O-O-P-S. Like, whoops, why am I on this plane? Whoops, why am I going to Winnipeg? Fuck you, Winnipeg. I got off the plane, and the first thing you see is this massive sign in the airport, and it says, "Welcome to Winnipeg. Come to South Beach, 30 kilometers north." Now, I'm from Australia, so shit's backwards to me over here already, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't make sense that a South Beach is 30 kilometers north. But as I said, I'm a fucking idiot, so I went, didn't I? It's not even a fucking beach. It's a casino. Winnipeg, get a better name for your fucking casino. Jesus, Winnipeg can go and get for all I care. Nah, dude. If you can't tell, I hate Winnipeg. I don't know if you guys read the news in Australia like I do. I kind of do it. Not too much anymore, but I do. Melbourne just copped a second wave of the old COVID-19 coronavirus. Anyone know why? All right, here's the story. So, Australian government, they offered the Defence Force because they put this rule in that if anyone flies internationally into Australia, they take them to the airport, they put them in a hotel, armed guard at the door. Stands there, make sure they don't leave 14 days, no COVID, right? Smart idea. Melbourne's over here going, yeah, nah. We got some bouncers out of work. We'll bring them to the hotels, we'll put them at the doors, keep them employed. Smart idea, right? Except these guys are the fucking worst part of Australian society. So what are they doing? They're standing at the door, and there's people in these doors, on the other side of the door, sorry, not in the doors, that'd be fucking incredible, wouldn't it? But on the other side of the door, there's these people in the hotel rooms, lonely, 3 days passes in solitary confinement, and they're looking through the peephole going, yeah, this bloke's all right, isn't he? So they bring him in, and but these guys, as I said, worst part of society, they don't just aren't bouncers. That's a nighttime job for most people. So they also have a secondary income. It's called Uber driving. So what they do is again, they do that, and then they go and they drive and they go, g'day, yeah, g'day, and they'd be driving and they spread corona and it got traced back to them. I'm from Melbourne, guys. That's my people. That's my people. I'm proud of them. Australia Day was at the start of the year. I was supposed to go home for it. Then I pushed me flights a couple weeks thinking, oh, I've got time to go. Then COVID hit, so I haven't been able to go back home. I was going to go home for a couple weddings. I was going to go home for Father's Day. I love my father. It's not weird. Like, he never touched me or anything, but he loved me back. But yeah, so Father's Day just passed. Anyone a parent? Anyone a father, a parent? Yeah, you're a parent? Shut the fuck up. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, everyone's got parents. That's how you got here. You're a parent? And you've got you have a husband you have a cat. You have 2 cats. Right. Anyway. I just found there's a big difference between Australian parents and Canadian parents, namely the fathers. Father's Day, hence the correlation, right? I work with this bloke. He's 35 years old. Bit of backstory on this guy. His dad's the owner of our company. He's also got a 2-year-old son, and we smoke cigarettes occasionally. So I got him the other day. I said, hey, mate, you want to go outside for a cigarette? And he goes, oh, I can't. Daddy might come. I'm like, oh, don't say daddy. Because here's the thing, like in Australia, on our birthdays, we sing this song. Like we sing Happy Birthday, we're not that fucked up, but we also sing this other song, and it's called Why Were They Born So Beautiful? and it was clearly written by both parents. Mums, you can take credit for the first line. Ready? Here goes. Here's the song. Ready? Why were they born so beautiful? Second line, and I'll give you the answer. It was the dad. Why were they born at all? So I copped that for, you know, my whole life. So that's why I'm like the way I am. This has been awesome, guys. Thanks. I'll leave you with a PSA from myself. Suck someone's dick tonight. It might change your life. Cheers.
Peter Grant, everybody. I'm gonna put this on because I think I held on to it last time. Am I good? Am I good? Okay.
Do I really have to take off this condom?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Don't touch it. You don't know where that Australian's been. Man,
That was awesome.
did you guys have fun? Yeah? Okay. Clapping at home. How nice. How nice.
That was awesome. What a great show. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thanks to the Havana Theatre. They've been great. Amazing. Give it up for Havana Theatre.
Yeah,
They
go
really-
Havana.
they deserve
yeah,
it.
please give it up for Tanner. He's our
And
tech guy.
Tanner, our tech
Doing
guy,
good.
keeps this thing running. Oh yeah, for you people watching from Winnipeg, send your complaints to Fuck you, I am smiling. No.
Or really, really give it to him by donating to all the other comics. You'll find the donate link on the somewhere.
On the page somewhere.
Somewhere.
There's
You'll
a
see it.
donate. If you want to donate Joe a few bucks
vancouvercomedy.ca.
to some of these comedians, go ahead.
Yeah, all the proceeds go to the performers, and because they need to be fed with skip the dishes.
I'm gonna go home and read the recipe tattoo off my back
How nice.
in a mirror. I keep
That's
getting it backwards.
Some real sourdough there.
Well, fuck you. All right,
Okay,
guys.
I've got some yeast for you. I'm sorry. Okay, we're.
I'm not paying handling on that box. All right. Anyway, this has been Comedy Snacks. Join us next week, 8 o'clock,
next
same time. Bye,
week.
guys.
Woo!